Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. This is the lifestyle part of the podcast, and I know that this is not easy for a lot of people. And I could lose listeners, and that's fine. That sort of thing doesn't really bother me. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a parent, so I cannot understand exactly how these things feel. But I do have many people close to me that have gone through these exact situations, scenarios. And I'm speaking about Zaya Wade. This is Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade's son, who was born male, I should say, and has chosen to transition to a young lady. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's still a boy. Oh, this is the situation. Where are the parents? Why is Gabrielle Union involved in this conversation? It should be his biological mother, and whatever the case may be, wherever the biological mother is, no matter where she stands on the situation or whatever, we don't know all those details. The only thing I can speak on, just from what we've seen, is that as a little boy, Zaya has always, from what I saw, I was not surprised when, as a little boy, I thought maybe he may be gay. But as the transition started happening, I don't think many people were really that surprised. I think more people were surprised that the quote-unquote parents were allowing it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what are you allowing that's already happening? Everybody is created the way that they're created. And I want to understand from folks, because let me tell you something. This is an amazing kid. If you've ever seen Zaya in action and just speaking and, expressing herself, this is not a, how you got some kids just running around and they got no good sense. Zaya's not one of these people. And I'm sure has had to be much more aware and mature because of the backlash that she has been facing ever since deciding to transition. I cannot imagine what that feels like as a parent, but as a friend, and having people close to me, whether it's family, whether it's friendships. And I actually do have a friend who I knew for many years. We grew up together, going to camp together. I mean, man, I don't even know how long. Probably since I was 5 or 6 years old. Who transitioned from male to female. But I gotta tell you, when we were in camp back in the day, and I'm going to say he for those purposes back then, he was always like a little girl. You know, when we were like 5, yeah, we were like 6. We were 6. We were 6 years old. That is how long I'm not going to say her name, but that's how long we've been friends. True friends. He started to transition in the junior high school teen years. And I was completely like, that was something new back then. We're talking the 1980s, you know, going into the early 90s. So it was like a complete shock. Like, I remember, and I'm saying him to refer back to before the change. I remember him coming into a store where I worked. I used to be a cashier in the local supermarket in our neighborhood where we grew up. And I remember him coming in like, hey, psst, you know, trying to get my attention. And I'm looking at this person and I'm like, I know this person. I feel like I know them, but the person that I know is a guy. And they said their name and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, thank God I'm going on a break. It was in between shifts, the morning shift and the afternoon shift. And I said, oh, I'm going to lunch. And I went and I sat with my friend. And it was explained to me what they had gone through. Now, I knew a lot of things that they had gone through. Abuse at the hands of their father, uncles, cousins, trying to beat the man into him. Things of this nature. And I knew what he had gone through his whole life. Because like I said, we've known each other since we were about 6, 7 years old, you know. And it is so hurtful when you would see children, your friends, have bruises and you don't know why, or they don't tell you why. Which would happen with him a lot. So now, I am going to say she going forward with the story, because in that moment, that is what he wanted to be recognized as. And had started hormone therapy and, you know, all of this. And it was at a time where there was no, trans was not even spoken about much back then. It was either gay, straight. That was pretty much it that you had in the 80s, you know. And if you were a gay man, you know, you had to watch out for HIV and AIDS. You know, like that's all we were worried about back then. There was no, even bi was not even a thing. You know, it was there, but it wasn't a thing, you know. That's all you had back then. So you fast forward, you know, 30 something years and you're just like, wow, this is a whole different world. Now we have names for things. Now we have you know, back then it was LGBT. Was that what it was? Yeah, LGBT. That was it. Now you got LGBTIQA+. The LGBT flag looks completely different. My sister had to school me the other day. She was like, oh, you know, the flag has changed. And I said, what do you mean the flag has changed? It was just crazy to me. I was like, okay, I'm lost now. And it's so interesting. You know, I had a conversation with another gentleman, maybe I think it was last week, and who is a part of the LGBT community. And even he said, I didn't know the flag changed either. And I thought, oh my gosh. But you know what? I'm glad that people have a voice. I'm glad that there's such a push for inclusion. Not to be better, not to dominate, but inclusion. Because inclusion is so important. As a black woman, small business owner in America, inclusion is everything to me. So I can't imagine if I had anything else on top of that I would have to bring and carry throughout my life. Being black and being a woman and being educated is already a threat to these people out here. And you can speak your mind is already a threat. So I don't know everything about the LGBT community, and especially the trans community, which is another community within that. I don't know everything about it. I'm still learning about it, just like many of you. But what I do know is that if you have someone in your life who is dealing with this, who has decided that they want to be their authentic selves, just be there for them. You're not going to change them. Stop trying to pray brimstone on them that they will flip and change. Stop doing that. Instead of praying that they change, pray that they're safe. Pray that no one brings physical harm to them, because that happens quite a bit. Make sure that they're good mentally. If they need to go to therapy because they need to sort through all of the things that they're dealing with, then do that. And even if the outcome is, yes, I want to make this change, or I want to transition, just support it. Because they're going to have enough people in their everyday life that's going to make them feel like hell. That's going to make them feel less than. And they don't need it from the people closest to them. They don't need it from their family. They don't need it from their close friends. Just support. If they want to call you up at 2 o'clock in the morning because they are confused, or they want to call you up 2 o'clock in the morning to tell you this is what I'm doing, just listen. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for anybody going through anything in their life, any change, it doesn't matter what it is, sometimes just listen. So again, I don't know all the backstory of the biological mom and, the relationship, with Dwayne Wade and the child's mother and all that. All I know is that he's supporting his child. And Gabrielle Union she's supporting her child. You could say stepchild, whatever. She doesn't, that I have seen, refer to Dwayne's sons as, stepchildren. She just says children from what I have seen. And of course, she and Dwayne have a daughter together. Just be a support. Because support, first of all, what do they say? Support is a verb. It really is. And sometimes your support is going to be the thing that helps people sort through their thoughts, their processes, and your words of hate and whatever it is, discontent, is not going to ungay anybody. Let me just tell you that right now. They go be who they go be. But putting more hate into the atmosphere is not the way to do it. It's just not. The things that I have seen people say about Miss Zaya, keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't agree, you don't have to agree. It's not your kid. You don't have to agree. And everybody can say, well, if it was me, I would have done this. And if it was me, I would have done what, these people with their conversion therapies and all this kind. Let me tell you something. It doesn't happen that way. Everybody's going to make their individual decision for themselves. If Zaya decides 5 years from now, 10 years from now, she's back to being a young man, then just hush and make sure that you support. But I truly wish Zaya the best, and from what it looks like, she has very supportive parents. And that's really all I think that you can ask for in a situation such as that. When the rest of the world is against you, I mean, that's having supportive parents is everything. So I know people are not going to agree with this. They're going to be like, he's always going to be this and it. The thing is like this, just be respectful. You know what I mean? Just be respectful. That's it. Just be respectful. And do a little research on your own and look at some things. Learn some things. Because there's folks out there who's like, well, I don't care what they say. This is what I'm going to do. It's just disrespectful. But anyway, it was just kind of my commentary on it because Ms. Zaya is collecting her coins, okay? Ms. Zaya got I believe a Tiffany & Co. deal, which is incredible. So I wish her the best. I really do. I wish the Wades the best. I think that, in my personal opinion, I think they're doing a wonderful job of supporting their child. And I think that is what Zaya needs. And anyone else who is dealing with this, whether it is coming out to your family, I would say make sure you have a plan. Sit down and talk to someone about the plan, because I understand it could be sometimes devastating for families, and especially with transitioning, it could be. Get yourself, talk to your teacher, talk to your professor, walk into any hospital and ask them, do they have community outreach programs? Your local YMCA or Boys and Girls Club or whatever, and find some good counsel so that you will be supported when you decide to be public, if your family doesn't know already, But I think that that's the main thing, because I think a lot of folks tend to feel like, oh, I'm just going to be myself and everybody's just going to go along with it. And there are some that know that once they do that, it could mean family disowning them, because that's a real thing. So I would say for anyone who's on the fence or you're deciding to come out and do what you're going to do, have your plan together and make sure that you're supported. That way, no matter where the chips fall, you will still have a good support system around you. And I hope it's your family, and I hope it's your friends. I would never want to know that I was a friend that didn't support someone within the LGBT community. That's never going to be me. I never want to feel like you're not supported. So definitely put your plan in place so that you will be supported no matter what anyone has to say. And then do you. Be yourself. Be yourself. Nobody else can be you but you. That's all I got for this. But I felt I needed to make a commentary on this because I know I have supporters from all different walks of life. I've spoken to a lot of you guys and, on social media and things like that. And I just appreciate everybody's support of this podcast. And your background and where you come from or how you grew up or where you're going in your future that's going to be for you. It shouldn't be a judgment of who you are as a person or whatever at all. Well, that's all I got today, you guys. I know that's kind of on a little bit more of a somber tone, but we need to be more aware, and we need to be more open to these types of discussions, because it's not unusual. I think people think all this is popping up from out of nowhere. No, it's not. It's just that we have social media and we have cameras now, and things are much more open now. But these things are not new. You know what I mean? These things are not new. It's just that we have the ability to connect and hear about it more because, more things are more public than they used to be back in the day. But this is what it is. This is life, and we all have to exist together. And I definitely pray extra strength for families that, will have to adjust. Be who you're going to be. The world will adjust, and your family will too. All right, you guys, I'm out. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Check me out over on Instagram at Onyx Queen Media. And I thank you again for supporting me. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.